Hello everyone, happy Halloween. It is October 31st, 2:02 p.m. Coco here with tea time. My name's Cody, and I just think it's kind of ironic that I call myself Coco when I drink tea. But that's just me, silly things in the universe. So let's talk about last night's dreams. The first ones are very vague. I was with my grandparents and with my uncle, my mom's brother. Um, but I'm just going to leave that one out because I'm not exactly sure how it went. Then it switched up, and I was in like a sort of like Lilo and Stitch sort of video game. You guys remember that Disney movie where she's got like a pet alien? And I'm Lilo and I'm Lilo, and I have Stitch, but everyone's calling him Hutch for some reason. And we're at like an adoption agency, and I overhear them talking about like I hope you have dinner ready and stuff like that. Like the counselor who's getting me a foster family is talking, and I'm just like snooping through stuff. I find a package of lighters, and I'm just opening packages, and I'm putting things in my little pockets, and like I have like coveralls on, so I'm like stuffing like cheese sticks and like lighters into my pockets, and I'm Lilo, and then we're trying to escape because we really don't want to go to this foster family, and we're like running past nurses and stuff like that, and we're just hiding. And oh yeah, there were other children there too in like a waiting room sort of thing. And one of the babies, he was like really old. He was like Benjamin Button style. He was like super old baby. And then there was like another child who like I was telling about adventure stories. I would keep like naming adventure stories and adventure stories, and he was getting like so excited. He was like, "Oh, you know these adventure stories too?" And I can't even remember what they were called now. But I eventually get past the nurses after they try and search me to find the lighter, which I hid very conveniently in my shoe. And when I shook the shoes out to show them, I held it with my thumb, and I was like, "See, nothing in there." Put my shoes back on, and then I escape past the nurses, and I get outside, but there's like barbed wire all around it, and I'm like, there's like barbed wire even like on ground level, like where the children are. Just outside where they have the fenced off area where you can play outside. And I keep getting caught on this barbed wire trying to escape. And I eventually like get myself to like slingshot over the fence using the barbed wire. But my arm is caught, and I get the barbed wire out of my arm, and it didn't really hurt, but I saw blood. And then I'm downtown, and I get a feeling that there's a beach just through town. So I feel I have an instinct to run a certain way, and I'm running down the street, and I see Hey Arnold, that like football headed guy on a bicycle. He's riding down the street, and I yell at him, "Hey Arnold," because I thought that'd be pretty cliche and it was funny. Um, but I was a little girl, and I started thinking that he was ignoring me because he didn't want to look like a pedophile because I was a little girl. um, I passed some of my friends from the comp, and they're like, "Oh, is that Cody Black?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not Cody Black. I'm Lilo right now." Or they said Katie Black at first because I was a little girl, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not Katie either." And they're like, "Mr. Black, Mr. Black." I guess maybe it was my behavior that made me appear to be myself because I was me. And then I started. I keep going towards the beach because I just have this sensation that there's a beach, and I make it to this beach, and I'm walking down the street or down on the sand, and there's like restaurants and stuff where they have like fries, and I still feel like it's a video game sort of. Um, then me as Lilo starts eating like fries off the table, like some sort of beach bum, and like drinking the soda pops and stuff like that, and my tea is incredibly hot. I cannot see it's Mickey Mouse. Yay! But I can't even sip this thing yet. It's so hot. Um, then Mickey Mouse. No, Mickey Mouse wasn't there. That's just the tea. That's the tea talking. Um, right, eating fries and such. Then I make it to. I feel like someone's going to find me on the beach, so I start walking and walking and walking and looking for like a foster family sort of thing. And like I meet up with these guys that like it's getting hard to remember now because I've been awake for a little bit. So I really have to do these quicker, or at least start writing them down before tea time. Um, Eye crusties, you know how they go. I probably look pretty derpy, but patience, patience, patience. So this guy like adopts me, but I feel like I grew up very fast because I was like back to my normal self sort of thing. But first he has me as a child, sort of like going into people's houses and like taking their candy and their dice and their playing cards. And I was like, well, do you have a bag? Like, how am I going to get all this stuff out while you're distracting your friend? And he's like, oh, I just brought my daughter, blah, blah, blah. He's just going to blame it on a stupid little girl. That's why all the stuff was missing when they went back. I stole probably like 10 dice and like a deck of green cards and a lot of candy. And then I'm. Oh, we'll get back to the candy part because that reminds me of a dream that I had before this one that I forgot to mention. I was outside of a Walmart or something like that, and I was gonna go into the McDonald's there, but I couldn't really decide what to order, and I left. Which reminds me of a thing that I actually did. I actually did go to Walmart and go to McDonald's and stand in line for a minute and then leave because I decided I don't really want McDonald's. Then when I was outside, um, my friend Derek picked me up in his girlfriend's red car, um, and I gave him a chocolate bar. That's where it came from, the candy. I gave him a chocolate bar, and he gave me a cigarette, and we were driving down the road, and I'm not sure where that dream went because I almost forgot it completely, actually. But back to the candy. I just remember that because of the candy bar I gave Derek. Um, After the candy, he, the guy who adopted me on the beach, that's not shady at all, but the guy who adopted me on the beach, he didn't have a bag to put all the stuff in that he wanted off the table. I don't know. It was like Skyrim. He just like wanted everything, all the junk. And so then the next frame is like me and Stitch, like my blue alien, in like a scooter with like a sidecar, and he's in the sidecar, and riding the scooter, and it's just like packed with all this useless shit. Driving on the sand. I don't know how a scooter does on the sand. Probably not the best thing to drive on sand, but we were ripping. And we get down to this like building that is a hat. It's like a cowboy hat, like a 10-gallon huge hat, like not like this, like much taller and like curled up sort of like that. And it was a building, like there was a door and everything like that. And since I'm wearing green, I'll just put the green fuzzy hat on today. So um and then Stitch starts talking to me, but everyone's calling him Hutch for some reason. I don't know, but Hutch starts talking to me, and he says, "You can afford that now," and we just have all this bullshit junk. So I guess we bought the hat building, and we were hanging out in the hat building, and then what happened? Then we're downstairs in like a basement sort of thing, and like um, the guy who adopted me and his friends came over, and they were arguing about something that he wasn't supposed to show me. Like they were calling this one guy the bitch, or something, like, I guess. Just this guy who was not the alpha male, not the guy who adopted me. He was showing me something. He's talking about something that started with an N, and he ran downstairs. And then they we were outside on the beach, and it was like a flashback. It was a flashback to like when they were kids, and they were still like a tight gang of people. Like all these people in the hat house, like friends with the guy who adopted me. They were all like a pretty tightly knit group. And it did a flashback to when they were children. There was a bully on the beach, and they fought him. He was bullying them, but they all ganged up on him, and I'm pretty sure that they killed him. Um, and then we're on the beach. we're kind of talking about it. I guess they didn't really care that a little girl knows now because I don't know why it started with an N. For some reason, something started with an N. I'm just gonna let that go. But then we're in the water, and like people are like turning into mermaids and stuff. Like I was a mermaid or merman, I guess, and they were a really hot girl mermaid, and oh, great tits. Oh, it was awesome. This is probably the best part of the dream right here. And then we're just kind of cuddling and making out in the surf, like not very deep in the water, because like I guess we weren't really good mermaids because we couldn't really breathe under the water. We were just kind of swimming on the water, and then we stayed pretty close to the beach, but it got really sexual. And then um hmm, since swimming in the water was kind of difficult, there was like we swam down the coast a bit to like sort of be alone in this one building, but it was like a holodeck sort of thing. Like it would like the whole building would sort of um it would emulate. It was like an emulator for being underwater when you were in this building. So that was the last thing I remember. It was like being in there with a girl mermaid and being really sexual. And then I woke up and my sister was like, no, my sister didn't come and sneeze. Ew, a snot bubble. That's disgusting. I wonder if my tea's alright. No, my sister didn't come into my room and got you. But that would have been pretty funny. She came in my room in a Smurf costume. And this isn't even a dream. This actually happened. And she's like, could you zip me up? And I zipped up her zipper. And it came all the way off the top. And I was like, well, fuck. So we put some safety pins to keep it on. And she's a really cool Smurfette. She looks good. She's got the blonde wig and everything, so. But we're at about 12 minutes now, so I'm just going to call that a day for tea time. Tea time. Not teen time. This isn't B. Tea time with Coco, because that's so ironic. Codi here, so. Thanks for watching, everyone.